Microsoft confirmed today it is investing $10 billion in OpenAI over several years. That brings the valuation for the startup to $29 billion as the tech giant looks to monetize ChatGPT. That chatbot has become the talk of Silicon Valley and everywhere else, including Brad's brunch table. The chatter caught the attention of Saz, and that's where we find his take today. It caught both of our attention in Davos because a lot of people were talking about it.
Absolutely. This was definitely the World Economic Forum where the next generation of AI took form, in large part because of ChatGPT. So here are a couple vibes, that I thought about from the weekend as I downloaded everything we learned at the World Economic Forum as it pertains to OpenAI and chatbots like this. First up, it is still seen as a helpful, useful tool, at least off the jump here in bots like ChatGPT. I think a lot of execs that we talk to do see a strong use case for it. And then by extension, because of that use case, it is seen as a major disruptor for many industries. I know if I'm a Salesforce today, which of course bought Slack, there's a lot of, I think, new apps coming that could ultimately integrate into Slack or take market share from Slack if Slack doesn't evolve. Just again, using one example, of course, because Salesforce is in the news. And then to that point, likely to see a lot of copycats. ChatGPT is not, and Microsoft are not the only players in the space. Over the next year, I think you will see a lot of apps take things even further in terms of technology like this, so it could be used in different applications. One person that we talked to at the World Economic Forum is actually, I would say, dabbling a little bit in this space and very interested. That is longtime tech investor Will.i.am. He's an entertainer, of course, member of the Black Eyed Peas, but also interested in the space and also putting his money to work into it. Here's what he told us.
I think ChatGPT is awesome. I think it's going to be a great co-pilot for creatives. And hopefully it raises the bar on everyone's creativity. Now you have something else that's that responsive. You could push it and it will push you. I think it's awesome. It's like asking a mathematician, hey, what do you think about this thing called the calculator?
I'm glad he mentioned calculator and math because the street has seemed to zero in on a company like Chegg. We talked to CEO Dan Rosenzweig at the World Economic Forum, Julie, but they have seemed to zero in on Chegg as potentially being among the first companies to be disrupted in this market here. Brent Thill over at Jefferies noting the ChatGPT could be an overhang on Chegg shares for a good bit. Now, he tested this app and he says it is a long way away from writing accurate essays or being a major player in education. So it could be something that hangs over the stock. But again, nothing at least near term that might take market share away from a Chegg.
All right, so what's the take?
Take is this. I think this stuff is here to stay. I think you're going to see some really amazing applications over the next year. And to that point, please save me time. I'm okay with using this. If I can use it to write or help my daily workflow and shave off a couple minutes by the end of the day, maybe that means I actually eat lunch and dinner. I'm all for it. Sign me up.
Yeah. I mean, look, here, I agree totally, but it's also some of this AI technology and even some of the intellectual property that has been patented for more than a decade. Some of it at this point has really only been affordable by large businesses. And so now, once some of those patents start to roll off, it's going to become more available. It's going to be able to be more open source and available for the individual apps that we might use.
Well, and when we talked to Dan Rosenzweig, by the way, he was not overly concerned about AI. He talked about them hopefully harnessing it in their products instead of being disrupted by or being a big competitor to what they do. I will say, Saz, if you work hard now and don't eat lunch, AI is not going to change that.
Thanks, Sly.
Neither's all of my nagging.
You're always looking to burst my bubble.
Can't do it, AI won't do it.
Here's my bubble. You're always looking to burst. You just stuck another pin in it, Julie. Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's what I'm here for.
Great to be back. Thank you.